What a game. What a wonderful game that we saw between Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. I think it played out how I expected it to play out. You can watch the preview. Chiefs was going to score early and Sundowns was going to come back and win the game after Chiefs had cooled down. Chiefs, again, is still a 25-minute team. 25 to 30 minutes, they'll give you the best football we've seen in 9 years. Right? But they're not able to sustain that for 90 minutes, but also they're unable to control the game. There comes a time where you have to control the game. There comes a time where you have to hold possession, play it, diffuse situations. When Sundowns scores the first goal, relax the game, put it down, make sure that you are taking away that momentum from the other team. And it's still something that as a team we cannot do. I think defensively, the attack covers a lot of our defensive errors, but the problem is that the attack can only attack for so long. And after 30 minutes, you start seeing Kaizer Chiefs' normal issues. We still have an issue with our 2-6s. They still need to take responsibility. Take responsibility in covering the left and right backs, but also take responsibility in winning the second ball. So a ball is played in, either the Sundowns player or our player gets to the ball first, they header it, it falls. Those were falling a lot to Sundowns players because they were in space. I think Mamelodi Sundowns understood that Kaizer Chiefs' defense, it's almost like the players leave them alone and say, no guys, you guys will be okay by yourselves. And what tends to happen is that Frosler or Cross, they're called to go mark a player or two that are coming at them, but the spaces behind them are not covered. So there's a little bit of a communication breakdown that is happening on that side. When we move to Mamelodi Sundowns, I still say what I said in the preview. Sundowns' biggest weakness is going to be how they manage games at the end of games, how they see out games. So the substitutions that Coach Manqoba made in the game versus Gallants ended with Mamelodi Sundowns facing, I believe, Marumo Gallants hit the post twice. I think there was a penalty. Then there was the goal from Mhango. That could have gone from a 4-0 to a 4-3 very quickly in a tense finish. And it's down to the substitutions that Coach Manqoba makes in the second half. That is the weakness that I'm seeing from Mamelodi Sundowns in that regard, right? I don't think, even from the starting lineup perspective, Tshwane and Ribeiro can't play together. Tshwane and Ribeiro are not a two that make sense. And I think Ribeiro had done so well in the past few games in dropping back into the 10 and coordinating. I think that this game ends 4-1 to Mamelodi Sundowns. If Tshwane is taken off, Ribeiro is allowed to play the 10 role, and you allow Reyners and Matthews to run at that defense on transition. I didn't understand Peter Shalulile coming on, and I didn't understand the choice by Mamelodi Sundowns to go and defend, because that is very different to how Mamelodi Sundowns in the past, how they would control that game towards the end. As Mamelodi Sundowns of the past few years starves the other team of the ball. There was a point where they were doing it. I saw them put together a lot of passes. Allende was passing to Mudau. They were playing triangles and just starving Chiefs of the ball and making them a little bit tired. But for some reason, Coach Manqoba thought, no, we need to bring in more defenders and even more defenders, and we need to now see out this game that way, which is going to be a big weakness for Mamelodi Sundowns, because these games are not going to end that way. If Chiefs scores that final whistle goal that was disallowed, it could be a draw. You know, if Marumo Gallants gets the 2 or 3 goals that they missed out on in that game, they could be back in it, and a really great performance gets taken away. So I think Mamelodi Sundowns should look out for those things and maybe plan a little bit better. I thought going into this game, the reason why Tshwane was there was so that they could have 4 players up front at all times and make sure that the Chiefs' defense is under pressure. Then once they tire, you take out Tshwane, you let Ribeiro run it, and you just keep hitting them on the counter, which is something we didn't see. Chiefs itself also, there's times where they revert back to the old Chiefs. They go back to default settings and they start playing that Chiefs football that we didn't necessarily like. The midfielders are afraid to come and fetch the ball. The defense is starting route one balls. They're starting to play them up. They're losing balls in very key areas. But I think the biggest thing I want to talk about in Chiefs' side today is I think Chiefs and some of the players played the occasion and not the game. So if you look at Sirino was playing his ex-team. Chiefs was playing in a sold-out stadium versus Mamelodi Sundowns, instead of, in both instances, that it's Sundowns, it's another league game. This league game doesn't give you 6 points, it doesn't give you 8. And the reason why I bring up the first part when I speak about Usirino is he's the man that makes us tick, he's our brain. But if he's not thinking and he's playing against his former team and he's got the things and he's trying to be the hero and he's losing the ball and he's dropping back and he's out of position and a lot of things that were happening there, Chiefs doesn't play. We need him to be level-headed. Now, I know it's Mamelodi Sundowns, it's his former team. We know the history he had with Rulani, Coach Rulani and the club and how he was let go and all of that stuff. We get it. But we cannot have another game where one of our key players has a yellow card and our most important player in attack is out of the game. Then I want to speak about the other side of that, in that I think Sundowns is very good, is used to playing these type of games. They're used to going to Wydad, they're used to going to Egypt, they're used to going and playing in sold-out packed stadiums with hostile crowds, right? It's what they're used to. So even the full F&B wasn't going to affect them that much. Sorry to interrupt this video, but I need a little bit of your help. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can probably see my subscribe account. And if you can, I'd be very grateful if you would subscribe. That is actually the best way to support this channel, because the bigger that number is, the better it looks to potential guests and other brands and companies that I will approach for sponsorship. It may seem like a very small thing to ask for, but it actually helps with all of this. Thank you very much. Let's get back to the video. But what we need to realize is that on the Chiefs side, a lot of those players, if not all of them, have never played in a full stadium, have never played in a positive place where you're getting lots of energy. During watching the game, I said that charging a battery is good, but overcharging a battery can kill it. And I think part of what's happening with Kaizer Chiefs in terms of that first 30 minutes is they've got so much energy from the crowd. They've got so much energy from the team. They want to run more. They want to do more. They want to go over and above. But the problem is, as you go over and above more and more, you don't have enough to finish the game. And that's where the concentration starts going away. That's where we start losing balls. That's where, you know, high balls are being played to Mfundo Vilakazi, where our defense loses their communication, where all of those things happen. So somebody's going to need to come in and teach that team how to maybe, let's not make it 30 minutes of dominance or 25 minutes of dominance. Let's make it 10 minutes at the beginning of the game, 5 minutes before halftime, 5 minutes after halftime, 10 minutes at the end of the game, and you take that 30 and we spread it across the game so that we can be there for the whole game. There's going to be plenty of games where we're going to go into it, we're going to score first, and then we're going to have our backs against the wall for the rest of it. And I'm a little bit worried for that type of thing. So that is something Nabi needs to work on. And maybe what's missing at Kaizer Chiefs is leaders. Maybe you need somebody, I call them a grown-up, who's going to come in and say, guys, I know we're happy, I know we're hyper, I know we're buzzing, but Cross, you've been running too much, you're tired. Sirino, you've been doing too much, you're tired. Duba, you've been doing too much, you're tired. The examples I use is about Tito Msimang, about Tito Utla, about Tito Maswanganyi. A Tito who sees that Ngati Pirates is losing the plot here. We haven't been able to get our foot on the ball. We haven't been able to do all of those things. Let me take the ball and calm the game down. And go towards my defense. If you watch that Disciples game, that's what he was doing. Going towards his defense, because a minute before that, Pirates had been playing tum-tum football and they needed to just calm down. And I need, even from our technical team, learn how to do those things. We can't be having, today's the assistant coach who's got a yellow card. Last game, it's the goalkeeper coach who's got a yellow card. Our coach is kicking things, he's frustrated, he's talking loud. That also feeds into the fans. We saw some things getting thrown onto the pitch, but also you need to stabilize those players and make them understand. I think we still have a way to go in them understanding all of these different things, but they are very important. And maybe they get back into the game if they just controlled the game a little bit more, especially after Coach Manqoba had made those subs on Sundowns' side. So all in all, I think it was a good game. I think it's so good to speak about Kaizer Chiefs without having to, speak about the admin and the mtawungs and all of that stuff. We can actually speak tactics. We can actually be unhappy with some of the things we did and not overall with the whole club and how bad they're doing, and you can't analyze what they're doing at the end and all of that stuff. So that is very good. On Sundowns' side, hey, MTN8 was away. They're still grinding away these results. They're still getting these results. So it's good on them. They go to 9 points. Chiefs stays on 6 points. But yeah, good game. I really did love the atmosphere created for this game. I love how big the game felt, because these are the type of games that we need. These are the things that we need that are good advertisements for our football, for our teams, and maybe that's how you get more teams into it. So I think wonderful performance from both teams. Yes, there were things that went wrong. Yes, there was stuff that could have been changed, but a very, very, very balanced game. And Sundowns, well done for the 3 points.